and welcome back to my channel. My name is Cassidy and I am a mama to two beautiful little girls, Hannah, who is almost 3, and Harley, who is just about 7 months old. This channel is full of motherhood content. Right now we're focusing on homeschool content as the school year is beginning. So what I thought I would do in today's video is talk about how to create a homeschool schedule, as well as how long your homeschool should be. In my previous video, someone asked me how long our pre-K day is and also kind of what our schedule is. So I thought that I would share that with you all today. So in today's video, I have 7 tips on how to create a homeschool schedule. It's primarily focused on the younger age group, pre-K, preschool, kindergarten, but you can take these tips and kind of adapt them to work with older kids as well. And at the end of this video, I will also be sharing our daily schedule with all of you as well. So my first tip really seems self-explanatory. Pick your days. And what I mean by that is you don't have to feel like you have to do homeschool Monday through Friday. You can do homeschool Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. You can do it on the weekend if you want to. That is the great thing about homeschooling. So the first thing you need to do is pick the days that you are going to homeschool your child and base that off of other activities that you would like them to do. For instance, we do homeschool Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday because on Wednesday she does swim class and on Friday she has dance class. So that's why we do homeschool Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. My second tip is pick the time of day that you're going to homeschool. The great thing about homeschooling is it does not, and it shouldn't last an entire day, especially for little ones. So you can pick if you want to do homeschool in the morning, or you can do it after lunch, or you can even do it at night. Say your child goes to grandpa and grandma's, or they go to a daycare or something like that during the day, but you still want to homeschool them. You can do it at night when you get home from work. That's totally okay. Another wonderful thing about homeschooling. So pick the time of day that you choose and pick a chunk of time. So don't do like, okay, I'm going to do 30 minutes here and I'm going to do 30 minutes here. I mean, if you have to for your schedule, then by all means, you're going to have to do that. But if you can, try to chunk a piece of time to do your homeschool in. Okay, so my third tip is decide how and what you want to teach your child, especially when it comes to preschool and pre-kindergarten. Do you want to teach all of the subjects, or do you just want to focus on literacy? Or do you want to focus on literacy and math? Or you can also add in other subjects like science and art, things like that. So you have to decide, again, what and how you want to teach. So by how, I mean, do you want to just do curriculum workbooks from Barnes & Noble? That's totally okay. Do you want to purchase a curriculum that someone has created? It could be a fellow homeschool mama, or it could be a program. Or do you want to do like unit studies and create unit studies for your child based off of their interests? You're going to also find plenty of unit studies on Etsy and different places. For example, I just created a ballet unit study for my daughter because she just started ballet class again and is really excited. So we're feeding off of that, and we are focusing our learning off of ballet activities. So I created a unit study for that, which I will put in the description box below if you'd like to check that out. And next, we'll probably do that for 2 weeks, and then the next one we'll probably do apples. So we do unit studies based off of interest and also based off of what's going on, like the season or holiday that's happening. I'm super excited to be creating a Halloween unit study, so keep an eye out for that. So it's important to decide how and what you want to teach, because that's going to kind of help you create your rhythm to the day, which is going to get into our number 4 tip in a second. So you have to decide what you think your child needs or what your goals are for your child. And that will help you decide the how and what of what you're going to teach. So then tip number 4 is create a rhythm, not a minute-to-minute schedule. And what I mean by that is set up your day to follow an order. However, that order does not have to be timely. So don't create it where it's like, okay, from 9 to 9:15, we're going to do our calendar time, and 9:15 to 9:30, we're going to do writing time. If you do that, it's going to, one, stress you out, because if things take longer or shorter, it's just a lot of pressure. And number two, the beautiful thing about homeschooling is that you want to go with your child. You want your child to lead. So if you have a minute-to-minute schedule, it doesn't give room for that exploration of something that they found while you were doing something else. And it loses a lot of the fun for your child and also for you. So the way I created a rhythm is I wrote down all the things that I wanted to teach in a day, or at least attempt to get to in a day, because you're not always going to get to everything. And some days you're going to finish early, and on those days you can plug in the things that you missed, or you can just do a fun extra activity, or just go and play, of course. So the way I create a rhythm, like I said, is I wrote down everything that I wanted to teach. And then I thought about how it would best flow together for my individual child. So for my daughter and for my brain, how would it flow together for us? So, and it doesn't have to be that you do the core subjects first and then you do the fun subjects. It can be whatever you choose to make it. I am just sitting here and I am sweating. North Carolina heat is nothing to mess with when you come from the Northeast. Anyways, so my tip number 5, and I think I touched on this a little bit already, is don't feel like you have to get to everything every day. When you create your rhythm, don't try to fit in like, okay, writing and spelling and like all the things in one day. Your rhythm can kind of follow a basis. So literacy or language arts, whatever you want to feel like calling it, has so many components to it. It has phonics, it has writing, it has spelling, it has grammar, it has all those things. So if you just have a base of what you're going to do in that time slot, you can have a time slot for science or social studies, or a time slot for specials like art and music. But you don't have to get to all of those things every day. It's just kind of like a block of time where that would fit in, if that makes sense. The other thing is if you have that schedule and you don't get to the last thing by the time you want to be done, or you have to be done because you have to go do something else, that's okay. And that's what I touched on. You can fill it in on a different day where you finish early, or you can skip it if you choose, or you can extend your unit study into the next week, or you know what I mean? Like there's so many different options. You don't have to feel stuck in a minute-to-minute schedule. And you don't have to feel like you have to get everything done every day, because you're not going to. Every day is different. Okay, so tip number 6 is to be consistent with your schedule or routine before and after your homeschool day as well. By being consistent before your homeschool day, your child will know and be able to anticipate when school is going to start. They'll be like, okay, when we get back from our morning walk, school will begin. And they won't get themselves, hopefully, and usually won't get themselves entwined in something else, like a play, activity, and something that they won't want to be pulled away from. So if you're consistent, they'll be able to anticipate, even if they can't tell time yet, they'll be able to know when the homeschool day is going to begin. And as well as being consistent with after your day, because it will give your child something to look forward to. For instance, at the end of our homeschool day, the last thing we do is we go outside and do an art project, and then it's lunchtime. And of course, who doesn't look forward to lunchtime? And then after lunchtime, it's play outside time. So it's something exciting for my daughter, so she looks forward to that at the end of lunchtime. And she's also not asking throughout the homeschool day, can I do this? Can we do this? Can I go outside? Because she knows that what our rhythm is after our homeschool day finishes. Now, tip number 7 is kind of funny, because this whole video I've been talking about be consistent, make a rhythm. So tip number 7 is be flexible. So I say be flexible because you might need to change and adapt your routine throughout the year. For instance, a pre-K child at the beginning of the year may only be able to sit with you and do school with you for 30 minutes to an hour. But as the year progresses, they may be able to go longer. So they may be able to do it for 2 hours and then 2.5 hours. With a pre-K child, you probably don't need any more than 2.5 hours. But same thing goes for any age. You might need to change the schedule because their interests change or their activities change. So you're going to have to be a little bit flexible, but still within the reins of being consistent. So once it changes, you then need to be consistent with that change, if that makes sense. Okay, so as promised, I said that I would share a little bit of our rhythm once I was done with the tips. So the way that our rhythm goes is we get up in the morning and do all the morning things, morning chores, breakfast, get dressed, all that stuff. And then once my husband leaves for work, we then go for a walk. Once we return from this walk, it's homeschool time. My daughter goes directly to the homeschool room, and she's like, okay, it's homeschool time. Like, she knows. And she's only almost 3. Then once we're settled in the homeschool room and I've gotten Harley, my 7-month-old, settled, we do our morning tea time, which is like a morning basket. We just drink tea while we are doing our morning basket. And our morning basket consists of our calendar work, our letter of the week, our number of the week, a story for the week, and other various activities that go with that unit's theme. Then when we're done with that, we do our literacy lesson and activity, our math lesson and activity, and then we take a break and have a snack. Whenever she's done with snack, again, we don't go minute by minute. So whenever she's done with snack, then we move on into writing, and then either science or social studies, and then we go outside and do our art activity. Once our art activity is done, we have lunch and then playtime, and then we go on with the rest of the schedule for our day. She loves this rhythm. Now, she can't tell time, and sometimes we start homeschool at 9, sometimes we start it at 9:30 or 9:15. It all depends on when my husband actually gets out the door and leaves for work. But again, she can't tell time, but she knows when Dada leaves for work, that's when we go for our walk, and then we come back and do homeschool. So especially for young kids, having a rhythm like this is so important because they can't look at the clock and be like, oh yeah, okay, when this hand gets to there, it will be lunchtime. They only know it based off of what they're doing before. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video and it helps you create your pre-K schedule. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and make sure that you subscribe. I would love if once you created your pre-K schedule, if you commented it down below, because I think it would be so helpful for everyone to kind of share their schedules and see everyone's differences and maybe get ideas from one another. So I'll see you in the next video, and make sure to follow us on Instagram as well at the Carolina Play Studio so you can see some of the fun activities that we do every day. Bye, loves!